See where I put things I create at. Not for the Weaker Sex by David J. Rowbottom. Volume 9. How Being Single Compares with Married Life. How Things Are the Same. You probably still have the same razor. How Things Are Worse. Nope, I've got nothing. How Things Are Better. Where to start. Shopping as a single man. The first time I went shopping as a single man, and by shopping I mean proper shopping like a grown-up in a big supermarket and not popping into the Tesco Express on the way home for a loaf and a bottle of red, I found myself filling the trolley with the same items that I'd been silently trained to buy during my married years. It wasn't until I got to the world food aisle and found myself standing, alone, with a jar of Dobre sour cucumber puree in my hand, that I realized I didn't have to buy this bloody awful food anymore. Writer's note. Ever since that trip to visit friends in Poland, she'd insisted on Dobre's sour cucumber puree and had been overjoyed to find the third nearest Asda now stocked it. That was when I looked down at my trolley and saw in horror courgettes, baby cherry tomatoes. Parsley, writer's note, actually alive and placed ever so gently in the section at the end of the trolley so it won't get crushed. An aubergine special whitening toothpaste, skimmed milk mango, passion fruit and cranberry breakfast juice chorizo sausage, jasmine chamomile bath therapy, and yet in heavy flow panty liners with wings. Hang on, I thought. I calmly put the sour cucumber slop back on the shelf and drew breath. Slowly, as I stood surrounded by honey chili sauce, ginger beer with spiced berry, chicken parvi soup, and Sri Lankan cinnamon sticks, it dawned on me that I could have anything, that's right, anything I wanted. This whole entire shop was now my playground. If I wanted a Sri Lankan cinnamon stick or dried anchovy, I could have it. I mean, I didn't want it, but I could have it. There would be no disappointed looks followed by scathing comments as I dropped my chosen world food into the trolley. I might even get a look acknowledging my sophistication from the pretty girl on till 3. So I left my trolley right where it was and went and got a new one. An empty one. One I could fill with my things. I knew it was bad form to discard a nearly full trolley in the middle of a shop and that somebody would have to deal with it, but I just didn't care. I was interested in how long it would take before my, slightly off-centre in the middle of the aisle, trolley caused enough consternation with other shoppers to warrant a call being put out. Stuart, there's a rogue trolley in the world food aisle, please. That's Stuart to the world food aisle. Thank you. I imagined Stuart with a touch of annoyance and indignation, returning the items while muttering under his breath, bloody women. So I started again. I had no inclination of the fun I was about to have. I shopped in a dream. If I wanted it, even remotely, I put it in the trolley. I took my time and fully investigated salt contents in calorific amounts. I negotiated the tricky own brand versus name brand balance with the skill of a seasoned professional. I learned that if I was unsure whether I wanted an item or not, I could pop it into my trolley regardless, and discover, quite unexpectedly, that within 2 hours I would have decided whether to retain that particular item or discard it amongst the home baking section. All my socialist comradeship for the shelf filler had now gone, as I happily put unwanted mayonnaise with shampoo and much, much worse, a frozen lasagna with the budget kitchen roll. Before I knew it, I'd run out of aisles. I couldn't believe it. I actually wanted more shop. Is that it? I said out loud. Is that all you've got? My trolley was nowhere near full. I popped back to home baking and picked up the freshly squeezed orange juice I had discarded earlier. I even went back to the world food aisle, where a team of overpaid managers were discussing whether or not they should put a call out for Stuart, and reached into my previous trolley for a cucumber. But it still wasn't enough, so I went around again. Finally, with my trolley brimming with everything I could think of, and some things I would never have thought of, I made my way to the till. As I'm in no particular rush, writer's note wisely, I had set aside an entire day knowing that it could have been quite traumatic. I decided not to bother with the dash for the smallest queue and went instead for the till next to the till with the pretty girl. Or, as Asda likes to call it, till 4. If I'd gone to till number 3, I would have found myself staring at the till operator, and it would be glaringly obvious that I was obviously glaring. So, cleverly, I went to the till next to the till with the pretty girl so I could still stare at her, but casually pretend to be actually staring slightly just past her at the selection of spectacles in the opticians. My cue slowly dwindled as I furtively glanced at the pretty girl. In time-honored tradition, each occasion that our eyes actually met, I quickly looked away to give the impression that the meeting of looks was purely coincidental. It was Nicola all over again. With moves like this, I reasoned, quite logically, I am going to remain single for some considerable time. The softness and perfection of the skin belonging to the girl on till 3 suddenly became less of an obsession, as it slowly dawned on me that I'd come to the till of a talker. Now, a talker, when you are one half of a couple, is easily deflected. Women naturally direct conversation to other women. This made it very easy to simply pack the bags with no more obligation than to nod politely when, for example, your bagging skills were comically chastised for being those of a moron, or some sarcastic comment was made about the unimaginative crumbed ham you'd chosen. Now I was alone. There was still one person between me and the talker. Time enough, I thought, to plan a strategy to make this as painless as possible. Could I pull off pretending to be deaf? Could I be bold and do the shopping equivalent of Oscar Wilde's famous line? How do you want your shopping scanned today, sir? In silence, please. Maybe I could just give out a low hum until she realized that I'm a nutter. I should have gone to the pretty girl on till 3. She was much quicker and seemed to be chatting at just the right level, so as to be friendly, but not over-familiar. I finally decided on the same strategy with which Chamberlain dealt with that nasty Mr. Hitler. Appeasement. Her, hi there. Do you want some help with your packing? Me. No, thank you. I should be okay. Just don't go too fast for me. Ha ha. Idiot. Now I've gone and been polite and charming. The floodgates were opened. Her, ooh, that's a good offer. I should get some of those. Me. Yes. Her, oh, these are delicious. I get these all the time. Me. Yeah. Her, my son likes these. I don't care for them myself. Me. Oh. Her, these give me cold sores. Her, do you not find them too sweet? Do you want your hanger? No. No, I never keep mine either. They look so ugly in the wardrobe, don't they? After 5 long minutes of smiling, smirking, false laughs, and attempted witty replies, we reached the end of the shopping. Her, that'll be £197.54, please. I think I may have overdone it a little. I inserted my card into the machine and performed the how to avoid card fraud routine by pretending to push about 20 buttons, but only actually pushing the 3 and the 4 and the 8 and the 1. Writer's note. I assume I can trust you with my PIN. I mean, we've come this far together, eh? Her, thank you. Here's your receipt. Your electrical offer voucher. The money off petrol voucher. Your you have saved 12p voucher. Your thank you reward voucher. Your very own A Full Tree has gone into making these vouchers voucher. Would you like your vouchers bound and made into a hardback, or will you just take them loose? As I walked away, I realized that I had used up an entire week's worth of smiling and being nice quota on one person. And it was exhausting. Here's a thought. Why don't supermarkets have a grumpy till? A till where you can be guaranteed good, polite service, but with none of the inane chatter. Simple facts will be exchanged and no niceties. Him. Would you like help with your packing? Writer's note. Clearly this till would be manned. You. No, thank you. Silence follows beep, follows silence, follows beep. Him. That will be £197.54, please. You. Thank you. Goodbye. Him. Thank you. Goodbye. Isn't that a good idea? I'd go to that till in a flash. Meals as a single man. Single man eating is like no other eating in the world. It's certainly not unhealthy if done right. Neither is it healthy in the extreme. The best way to describe it is different. The priorities shift. Rather than flavor being the most important factor, or how good the food is for you, time becomes the main ingredient. Things like grated cheese become a main meal rather than a light garnish. You muse for hours on why small bits of cheese with air around them taste somehow better than big bits of cheese all clumped together. You have moments of real anguish when the little plastic tab at the corner of a packet of cooked meats snaps off without gaining you even the merest glimpse of the crumbed ham inside. You really want to send a stiff letter to someone explaining the dangers involved in using a sharp knife to open what, on the face of it, appears to be such a flimsy item. Accident and emergency departments across the country must be full of single men with knife wounds, explaining to the local constabulary, who must be called for all serious knife attacks, that the injury occurred while trying to open a packet of turkey with stuffing, which had been packaged by the same company who makes black box flight recorders. The milk carton that spills milk out over and beyond the lip of the cup, even though for thousands of years, man has been capable of making, with his own hands, a perfectly good and functioning jug. The golden rule for a single man making his own food is that if it takes longer to make than it does to eat, then it probably isn't worth it. Here are some culinary tips. Writer's note: please be aware that the very best man food has the full list of ingredients and the recipe in its name. Fish finger sandwich. Turn on the grill. Put fish fingers in the microwave and switch on. You can put them on for as long as you like because we're not using the sense of time, but smell instead. Go and sit down and watch a little Big Bang Theory until the smell of fish fingers makes it out of the kitchen and into your nose. Go and turn off the microwave and place the fish fingers under the preheated grill while you thickly butter 2 slices of white bread. Turn the fish fingers over. Don't use a spatula because this can be very awkward. The best way is to flip them over with your bare fingers. As the fish fingers are grill hot, there's a chance, if you're not quick, of removing your fingerprints. This will help if your career as a cat burglar has taken off, but will not help if you use your fingerprint to log onto your smartphone or laptop. Nip upstairs for a pee, being sure to wash your hands afterwards. Take out the nicely browned fish fingers and place them on the bread. Slice the bread going across the fish fingers. Enjoy. Writer's note: tomato sauce can be used as an exotic garnish. Eggs mashed up in a cup. Boil 1 inch of water in a pan while you boil a kettle of water. This will cut the boiling time in half. Add the boiled water from the kettle to the pan and turn the heat down to half. Add vinegar to the pan. Crack 2 eggs into the pan, trying to make the white stay near to the yolk. Thickly butter 2 slices of bread and put them together. Slice them into inch-wide strips. Check the eggs by lifting the first egg you placed into the water out with a spoon and prodding the yolk. You want it to be like the pad of a kitten's paw. Get a cup and put in some butter and a little salt. Remove the eggs and drain on a good quality kitchen towel to remove excess water. Put the eggs into the cup and mash with a knife. Eat with a spoon or dunk some optional strips of bread and butter. Writer's note: beware, making strips of bread and butter could push you over the time to make versus time to eat ratio. Bacon sandwich. As with a fish finger sandwich, but don't forget to cover the bacon when it's in the microwave, so you don't have to go through the boring process of cleaning the inside with a good quality kitchen towel. Brown sauce can be used as an alternative and alluring garnish. Sausage sandwich. As with bacon sandwich, but slice them long ways before they go under the grill. They will be half as thick and will crisp up in half the time. Twix and tomato sauce sandwich. Eat the only 3 things you have in your kitchen and be amazed when you discover that it actually tastes pretty good. Cottage cheese and mint sauce sandwich. Eat the only 3 things you have in your kitchen and don't be amazed when you discover that it tastes exactly as you would expect it to. Tuna rice. Choose a flavor of 3-minute microwavable rice and pop it in the microwave. Open and drain a tin of tuna. Put the tuna directly in the middle of a plate while trying to preserve its tin shape. Put the rice around the tuna as you would if you were following the serving suggestion on a tin of own brand curry or chili. Put a blob of mayonnaise on the top of the tuna and serve. Jacket potato and writer's note warning. Do not try to make a jacket potato in the oven, always, unless you have a spare day. Use the microwave. It might not be as crispy on the outside while fluffy and light on the inside as the oven-baked spud. But at least you won't have wasted a day regularly sticking a fork into a hot, yet still astonishingly hard, jacket potato. Put the potato into the microwave and set for 5 minutes. Grate cheese, heat beans, open tin of own brand chili, make nothing, and just have it with butter. After the 5-minute ping, turn the scalding hot potato and put it on for another 5 minutes. Eat some grated cheese, warm beans, simmering own brand chili butter while you wait. Wait impatiently for the ping. Stop the microwave early to check how the potato is by sticking a fork into it. Stick the fork in too hard so the potato falls apart. Have a rethink and try the sausage trick of splitting it in half to halve the cooking time. Put it back into the microwave for a minute. Ping! Prod the potato again, eat a little from the middle. Decide that it'll do and serve with your favorite topping. Writer's note. Warning. Sometimes you will find an inexplicably cold part of potato amongst the red-hot bits. Eat through it, you'll be fine. Bowl of cereal. Warm a plate in the oven. D. Crush cereal into really small crumbs. Place crushed cereal on plate. Cover in full fat milk. Eat through a straw while wearing a balaclava backwards. Writer's note. Sorry, but if you need preparation advice for a bowl of cereal, you really need to move back to your mum's house because you're going to die on your own. Milky cheese on thickly buttered bread. Writer's note. Warning. This one is so quick that you may go back in time, a little back in time a little. Slice some cheese. Put the cheese in a bowl with 2 centimeters of milk. Pop into the microwave for 30 seconds. Quickly and thickly, butter 2 slices of bread and put them together. Place them on a plate. Check the milky cheese and stir to mush it all together. Writer's note. Be very careful with this combination of foods. It is the antithesis of oil and water and mixes instantly on contact with any kind of heat. Depending on how much you are making, it can be boiling over the dish in as few as 10 seconds. Pour onto bread. Writer's note. This is delicious as the cheese doesn't melt the butter, so you get the lovely milky cheese taste mingled with the cold butter. It is also excellent for those among us who can't be bothered to chew. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Scrambled eggs. Crack 2 eggs into a bowl whole. Add a splurge of milk. Writer's note. A splurge is equal to the amount required for a particularly milky cup of coffee. Whisk it together until it is the same smoothness and consistency as the yellow paint my parents used in 1977 to bring back to life the, already dated, Anaglypta in the living room. Writer's note. If you weren't at my house, 2. Pop the dish into the microwave and turn the dial to an arbitrary number. This is because the microwave scrambled egg has a life of its own and must be observed at every moment through the little window. Push the start button and cup your hands over your groin to combat the alleged sterilizing effects of the microwave. Writer's note. The frequency inside your microwave is 2.45 billion hertz. The frequency where the human body starts to be harmed is anything over 10 hertz. Hold on tight to the buoys, preferably while wearing lead-lined gloves. Watch carefully as the miracle of microwave scrambled eggs unfolds before your very eyes. Certain stages will pass. At precisely 10 seconds, it will start to gently rise at the sides and leave a puddle of yellow goo in the middle. Do you open and stir at the first signs? Try to resist a little longer. At 20 seconds, you will feel uneasy as it will rise above the side of the dish. Hold off if you can. 30 seconds will see the puddle of yellow goo reduced to about the size of a 10-pence piece. Now, open the door, quick! Anything above 31 seconds and it will be ruined, and its only use will be as a door wedge or memory foam pillow. Stir it gently making sure you fold the outer hard egg into the remaining yellow goo. Then, and only then, can you scramble. So, go on. Harder. Really go for it. Mush it, whisk it, beat it, mash it, bash it, chop it. Writer's note. Never put the scrambled egg back into the microwave because it still appears gloopy. Don't forget, it is still hot and therefore still cooking slightly, even though it is out of the microwave. The remaining heat will slowly take care of the gloop and it will solidify at the rate nature intended. Garnish with some grated cheese and eat straight from the bowl. Beans next to toast. Put bread in a toaster. Put beans into a pan and simmer. Take toast out of the toaster and place on a plate in the fridge to cool. Simmer beans until mushy. Thickly butter the cold toast. Sieve the beans from juice and place on the plate next to the toast. Writer's note. This is delicious as the hot beans don't melt the butter, so you get the lovely mushy bean taste mingled with the cold butter. Microwavable chips. This is a rookie meal and not as sophisticated as eggs mashed up in a cup, but valid nonetheless. We all have to start somewhere. Have them with something or on a sandwich as a full meal. Garnish with some tomato sauce or go continental and have them with mayo. Crunchy peanut butter. Just eat it out of the jar with a spoon if you need a light snack. For a main meal, simply eat more. Grated cheese. Now you could be forgiven for thinking to yourself, grated cheese? Surely that's not a main meal or for that matter a recipe. It's a delicious accoutrement which when added to other things, in fact anything, simply makes it better. One could add grated cheese to a double chocolate fudge sundae, and it would taste so delicious that the eater would assume it was the secret ingredient everyone who makes chocolate fudge sundaes had agreed to leave out so it didn't cause an orgasmic meltdown of the human race. But you'd be wrong. I agree that while grating a block of cheese, the intention is always to use it as a sprinkle buddy to any number of other meals, but we rarely finish the whole pot. Not because it isn't gorgeous, because it is, but because we decided to grate the entire Breeze block-sized pack we purchased because it was on offer. And grating cheese is fun, and just about the only kitchen task a man will eagerly volunteer for. It requires the following. A strong grip, writer's note. Men have been working on this since Volume 2. The ability to move one's arm up and down for a long time. Writer's note, see above. The altruism to gobble up the cheese boulders which regularly fly off the block, meaning that none get into the pot and disturb the lovely, light fluffiness of cheese strips with air around them. The prowess to hold one's nerve as the ever-shrinking block nears the razor-sharp fingertip slicing, cutting blades. The expertise to know when the grating is over and the remaining lump is the correct size to be popped into one's gob. And yet, it still isn't clear how this can become a main meal. Picture, if you will, a dark house. A shadowy figure stumbles through the door and drops his keys. He bends slowly so as not to vomit and picks them up. As he steadies himself, he mumbles something about how idiotic it is to go to the pub directly from work. On an empty stomach, he enters the house and tries 3 times to flick on the light switch until he realizes that this task is going to take as much concentration as putting a key in a door. He stares at the switch, calculating the trajectory his hand will have to take to successfully make contact with that tiny little rocking piece of plastic, and thrusts out his hand. He stops mid-thrust to wonder why the inventor of the light switch would make something which has to be seen in the dark so small. He steps back proudly as the room is illuminated and wonders what he was just thinking about. "Food!" he yelps to no one. He takes a deep breath and meanders towards the kitchen, where he is certain he left the fridge. He finds it where he last saw it, and dramatically swings open the door. And there he stands, staring at the contents of a single man's fridge. He bypasses all the food he bought because he thought he should eat healthier, and focuses on a large red plastic tub with a lid on it. His brain whirs as he glares at the tub. What could be in it? He had no leftovers. Nothing he eats would require a receptacle this large. And then his face drops as he realizes what it is. Cheese? But not just any cheese. Cheese with bits of air around it. He grabs the bowl, rips off the lid and gapes at the small shards of yellow bacterial cultures, milk and coagulant. He picks up a single shaving and pops it into his mouth. The flavors flood over his tongue as he sucks the fatty juice out of it. He plunges back in and takes a clump. Writer's note. For reference, a clump is anywhere between 4 and 15 flakes of grated cheese. Anything above 15 is classified as a mound. Before he has even swallowed the clump, he notices his hand is working faster than his chewing and is elevating a mound in the direction of his mouth. He needs to deal with the clump quickly, or the mound might push it over the edge into a heap, and that could mean a few strands of cheese not making it. Then he'd have to decide whether to pick them up from the floor and eat them or, well, there wasn't another option. Who leaves cheese on the floor? Even in his delicate state, the 5-second rule would apply, but he might upgrade it to a 30-second rule to stave off vomiting. Once the mound was dealt with, he decides to get creative. He picks up a large clump, writer's note between 9 and 15 bits, and squidges it between his finger and thumb in a self-amusing effort to reform it back into a block of cheese. Before he knows what's happening, he's sitting in front of the TV with the red bowl of grated cheese and a large plate on which are condimental blobs. There's ketchup, brown sauce, mayonnaise, salad cream, mustard, American and Dijon, chutney, pickle, piccalilli, horseradish, a mistake, sour cream, which may have been off cream, and a blob of Marmite in the middle. What follows can only be described with the words clump and dump. That, my friends, is how grated cheese can be a main meal. Desserts as a single man, sponge pudding. Place in the middle of a preheated oven for 18 minutes. Or, pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Consider while you wait precisely what magical time-defeating thing it is that microwaves do to food. Writer's note. They heat food by creating friction at the molecular level. This unfortunately destroys vitamins and polynutrients. Butterscotch Angel. Delight. Mix with milk and enjoy as either a drink if you can't wait 5 minutes, or straight out of the mixing bowl as a lumpy kind of blancmange, with big, delicious, surprise powdery bits that you didn't mix in properly. Jelly chopped up into little bits with evaporated milk. Get ready. Formed jelly from the supermarket. Writer's note. It's not as firm as jelly made by your mum, but it saves making it in the morning before work, so it can cool all day in the fridge. Put the jelly in a dish and chop it up into the tiniest particles possible. Cover in evaporated milk. Eat with a small spoon. Vitamins. Have as many vitamins and supplements in pill form as you can legally take to make yourself feel a little better about all the shit food you keep making for yourself. Watching TV as a single man. We've all been there. You're sitting with a woman watching a soap opera when you ask that question we all ask. When did Deirdre Barlow join EastEnders? For this simple and, for all intent and purposes, harmless question, you receive a look usually reserved for finding a dog turd on your shoe. What? She says, as if you've just informed her that her mother was discovered sniffing your boxers straight out of the laundry basket. That's Deirdre Barlow, isn't it? You comment innocently. Yes. Well, we're watching EastEnders, aren't we? No, she exclaims. That's just finished. This is Coronation Street. Now, the above little skit deserves some investigation and explanation. Firstly, why, oh why, oh why, oh why, would you, a man, be watching soap operas? Like all men, you find your own life is hard enough to follow without bringing fictional characters into the equation. Sometimes you want to tear off your own head as your delicate little flower of a partner drones on and on and on and on about the minutiae of her day. She takes great time and effort trying to remember the exact time of the day that something unimportant was said by someone irrelevant about an insignificant subject that has no bearing on your life in any way whatsoever. Why then, in the name of everything good and luscious in the world, would you actively seek to inundate your brain with more names and more faces and more inconsequential facts and frivolous comments. It is illogical, absurd, senseless, and even preposterous. Unfortunately, all the logic and good sense are blown away with the simple words, "Why do you never take any interest in things I like?" You want to say, "Because, my dear, your interests are that of a slightly dim teenage girl with no desire to improve herself." What you actually say is, "Okay then, what do you want me to do?" "I don't want you to do something because I want you to do it. I want you to want to do things because you want to do them," she explains. You wonder to yourself if there is any way you can negotiate this conversation without it descending into an argument. "Well, why don't we sit and watch TV together then?" is all you can come up with because you're tired and already bored with the game that has just been initiated, and you will say just about anything to calm the situation and be able to continue doing the important work you were doing before all of this nonsense began. Writer's note. It's probably eating a biscuit, but let's face it, it's better than the alternative, eh? Now, to you, watching TV together could mean anything from a Brian Cox documentary about the universe to Newsnight. The Everybody Loves Raymond box set to The World at War. Writer's note, FYI, the TV sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond should be on the national curriculum for its insights and informative look at family and couple relationships. Every word is pure gold. The diatribe that follows makes you wonder why you spent all that time and money on a wonderful 42 inches smart TV. "Well," she says, "I watch The Chase at 5. Then I switch over to Home and Away. Oh, then I like to watch Come Dine With Me. Then it's Corey and EastEnders. There's usually a casualty on. Then it's that Channel 4 thing. I like my breast so much that I bought a third, but the nipple came off." You slump so low into your chair that it begins to engulf you, and you wish you were chomping on a proper biscuit. Something like a chocolate hobnob, rather than the rich tea you'd been guilted into putting in the shopping trolley last time you were at the third nearest supermarket. You remember her comment with horror. "If we get chocolate hobnobs, you'll just eat them all." Writer's note. That's precisely what fucking hobnobs are for. Get the rich tea. Secondly, you wonder how it is that this woman who can't so much as change a battery in a clock has mastered the remote control so efficiently so as to switch seamlessly between EastEnders and Coronation Street without you noticing. Perhaps it was during the moment where you were sobbing uncontrollably on the inside about how your life had turned out, while on the outside you were blurring your eyes and trying to make one. Pointlessly expensive. Televisions, split into two. Have a guess, my son, how many soap operas you will watch as a single man. Go on, guess. It's a nice round number. Now, when you come home after a long but fruitful day, you feel the joy that only a single person can feel when they lock the door behind them. No one can get you now. You can reveal your belly button and drip custard into it if you want to. You can stand in the middle of the room stark bollock naked with your legs apart and swing your tackle back and forth if it's something you feel you want to do. Sorry, you can close your curtains and then stand in the middle of the room stark bollock naked with your legs apart and swing your tackle back and forth if it's something you feel you want to do. You can pick your nose, roll it between your fingers until it becomes a non-stick ball and flick it toward the bin in the corner. You can scratch your ass, and I don't mean the buttock, I mean the hole. You can get your finger up the crack of your boxers and give your anal passage a right good dig. Skid marks? Who cares? You do the washing. You can say words while you burp. Start easy with the word burp. Then try hello. If you practice diligently, you can get 4 of 5 syllables out. But the most important thing, the thing that makes everything else pale into insignificance, is that you can watch what the fuck you want to watch on TV. Or not. Leave it off. Sit in silence. Flip channels in an annoying way. Turn the volume up all the way and then quickly mute. In this digital era, you can go nuts and listen to the radio on your TV, watch TV on your phone, and call someone on your laptop. Put a different device on in each room because you know how much that would have pissed her off. Masturbation as a single man. This can be taken to new extremes once you're single. If you can convince yourself that masturbation is sex for one, you can easily become a sex maniac. You can pretty much do anything you wish to yourself so long as you have a laptop, antivirus software, a regular supply of tissues, and a format buddy. Writer's note, format buddy. A friend who, if something unexpected should happen to you, is tasked with entering your home before anyone else and formatting your hard drive. This ensures your family don't discover what a dirty little urchin you were, forcing them to sell your laptop on eBay with NOS. No operating system asterisk. Asterisk. I hate acronyms that have to be explained. Kind of defeats the purpose of it, but in the spirit of authenticity, I thought it best to use the good eBayers acronym. Just don't hurt others and play nice. The hardest thing about modern masturbation is the porn star guilt. That overwhelming, self-hating guilt that washes over you when you look back at the screen after your phone dropping, eye scrunching, orgasm to see the team still going at it hammer and tongue. Writer's note, quite literally, if that is your thing. eBaying as a single man. Writer's note, there can't be many books when you get such a seamless segue way from masturbation to eBay. eBay will become your best friend. It will never tell you that you have enough of anything. It will never tell you that something's too expensive. It will never talk you out of spending money. It will never tell you that something looks bad on you. It will always be on your side. It will always inform you how good a seller is by way of feedback. It will always give you options. It will list all these options in a way that gives you hours of fun comparing prices and quality. It will show you things you never imagined existed. Writer's note, just type 2 random words into eBay and you will find that someone, somewhere, has invented that portable microwave foot pump or wristwatch/shower that you didn't know needed until now. Within a month of being single, you will begin to accumulate items to such an extent that you will have to put aside a special drawer to house them. You buy things such as Bluetooth somethings, wireless Watsits, cordless gubbinses, matte black things, chrome shiny things, blue and red flashing things. It's the modern-day equivalent of going to a pound shop, spending 20 quid, and then spreading all of your purchases out on the kitchen table when you get home to survey your booty. Things such as tape that doesn't peel off the roll properly, screwdrivers that couldn't turn blue tack without bending, odor-preventing inner soles, fingerless gloves, strangely named bags of sweets, a CD cleaner and wipe, a pack of 500 felt tip pens, cat food made from the sweepings off the floor of an offal factory, non-stick glue that comes from the same factory and will only ever work on one item. The lid, a pack of 1,000 cable ties, branded items that you presume are cheaper because they are in a pound shop, but you discover later that they are actually 20p cheaper elsewhere. Sucker. And of course the obligatory 20 batteries for a quid. They work, but will only power a wall clock for 23 hours. Alcohol as a single man. It's very easy, once single, to find yourself sitting alone, in your favorite chair with a plethora of remote controls lined up neatly on the table next to you, and a glass of wine in your hand every night. To be fair, and it's just as easy to find yourself doing this when you're in a relationship, but at least when you're single, you know where the remotes are. The problem with drinking booze while single is that you have to be aware enough to police yourself, to know if you're overdoing it. It's very hard to recognize you're being a dick when you're on your own, so it's very hard to stop yourself. George Berkeley, a 17th century Anglican bishop and philosopher, was famously quoted as saying, "If a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, does it make a sound?" Well, much the same can be said about the solo drunk. If someone drinks so much that they start to talk bollocks and no one hears it, are they talking bollocks? George concluded that the answer to his philosophical statement was no, since anything that is not perceived cannot be said to be real. My conclusion, having had first-hand experience of being drunk alone in a house, is a resounding yes. When you're drunk, you generally talk bollocks, and whether or not there is anybody there to hear it is unimportant. The beauty of this is that because there is nobody there to hear it, you offend no one. The downside is that, finances allowing, you could very possibly drink yourself into an early visit from your format buddy. At least this way, you're hurting nobody but yourself. It's when alcohol starts to take a starring role in a relationship that things can go very badly. I'm not going to go into the awful agonies associated with serious physical and emotional abuse at the hands of an out-of-control partner. I have no expertise in such matters and would never proffer an opinion on such a delicate and terrible situation. If you're involved in such a relationship, then my advice to you would be to put down this book and please seek help from a trained and caring professional. I'm going to remain on the lighter side of things, so pick up the book again and let's have a laugh. Do you remember that awful moment when you saw the woman you loved drunk for the first time? She goes quiet, or she gets loud, or she's bawdy, or she's slutty, or she's annoying, or she's never wrong, or she speaks to you like you're an idiot/slave/monster/two-timing pig/bank. It can be embarrassing, right? She's not the same woman. She's meaner. She's more aggressive. Nothing you do is right. Nothing you do is good enough. She bitches about people. Loudly. You try to have a little whisper in her ear about her language/volume/subject matter demeanor, and all you get is a tirade of raucous abuse, accusing you of controlling her and not letting her be herself. What do you do in that impossible situation? What course of action can you take? You need a course of action that will not only placate her now, but also make her lovingly see the error of her ways when she awakens the next morning in a flurried haze of dipsomaniacal shame, promising to curb her drunken ways in the future, and strive to make you proud of her disposition, whether slightly tipsy or pissed off her tits. And that course of action is, and be aware that this advice is worth every farthing of the price you paid for this book. Are you ready? Nothing. There is, unfortunately, absolutely nothing you can say or do to negotiate with your partner a gentle way through those choppy waters. You'll just have to ride it out. Well, that was a lot of words to read to hear that gem of uselessness, eh? But is it useless? I think not. I think that now you know discussing her behavior will serve no purpose. You can direct all of your efforts into manipulating each future situation, where she may repeat her actions, to benefit your sanity and not her desire to get wankered. If done subtly and with great thought, this can remove a huge weight from your relationship. If not done well, however, or simply left to keep happening, it will, without doubt, knock the stuffing out of any relationship teddy bear you may still be clinging to. It will chip away at you. It'll knock chunks off your love rock until you're left with a tiny little ape pebble. It hurts in the deepest and most secret recesses of your soul. It makes you question things. Do you want to be with someone who can get like that? This creature, who you once found so attractive, becomes uglier and uglier before your eyes. And if you think this is a hard situation to deal with while out socializing, try negotiating it when the two of you are alone. When you come home late and she's already into bottle number 2, it matters not one bit how intelligent you think you are, or whether you consider yourself to be a good debater, whether you pride yourself on being capable of calming a situation with a light-hearted quip or a smile or a cuddle. When Mama wants to fight, you fight. And you can find yourself very quickly reduced to a gibbering fool. She'll fire a question or complaint at you, and while you consider a response, she'll move on and on and on, until she's 5 subjects ahead of you. What do you do? What can you do? You can't calmly request a recess while you formulate a response to point A. It's a lose-lose situation. If you do try to answer a question from 10 seconds ago, you'll be accused of bringing up an old topic. I'm not talking about that now, she'll say. And you can't agree with her. Oh no, because if you do agree with her, she'll hit you with the classic response, oh well, you would say that, wouldn't you? You're just trying to avoid an argument, aren't you? Yes, I fucking am, you want to say. You want to gently ask her if there is anything you can say that will stop all of this nonsense, but she's too far gone. She's disappeared into the argument abyss with no return to normality in sight. You simply have to grab onto the horns and hold on until she bawls herself out. As the dust settles, you may find yourself a man of decent intellect standing like a confused child, having no understanding why this person who purports to love you would say and think all those awful things about you. Saying awful things is something you can deal with. You understand that in the heat of a conflagration, things can be said. But to think those things, surely something must have happened. An outside force, perhaps? Has she been festering with this hatred for days and you just got the eruption? Why couldn't she talk to you calmly about it? Whatever it was, how can all of that have happened and you still have no clear idea of what it was about? Why can't you have a relationship like Arthur and Enid? Arthur, love? Yes, Enid, my little flower pot. What is it? I just need to say something, and I want you to know that I say it from a position of total love and respect for you. It may not be what you want to hear, but I think we need to discuss it. Oh, blimey, Enid, this all sounds very serious. Should I make us a brew and get the biscuits out? Good idea, get the chocolate hobnobs. Oh, Enid, it must be serious. Go on, love, let me have it. Well, the other night, when my sister came round, I was really upset by the way you spoke to me in front of her when we were discussing our bondage sessions. You made it sound like you were just using me, and it really upset me. Oh, Enid, love, I'm so sorry. I'll call her right now and apologize. I hope you know that I love you very much and would never intentionally treat you badly. Thank you for that, Arthur. It means a lot. Pass me over a hobnob, Chuck. There's only one left, and you know how much I love chocolate hobnobs, but I want you to have the last one, my love, by way of an apology. Oh, Arthur, you're such a softie. Thanks, I'll share it with you. Bathroom behavior as a single man. Man does not care about the color of towels. He has no interest at all in shower curtains. Whether a bubble bath has soothing chamomile or is a massaging wash or moisturizes means nothing to him. Occasionally, he may fall for an advertising ploy and try an option with the word relaxing on it until he realizes that it just turns the water blue, but produces no bubbles. Man does care about bubbles. He won't choose a bleach based on the color of the bottle. He wants a bleach that does the most damage to bacteria. As soon as the lab boys at Bleach Control crack that final 0.01%, man will be all over it like, well, bacteria. Writer's note, especially if they have a skull and crossbones on the label. Exfoliant to man is something that used to be a foliant. He goes for the cheapest mouthwash, the toothpaste his mum used to buy, soap rather than body wash, shampoo conditioner rather than shampoo and conditioner. Scent-free antiperspirant. On the bathroom shelf, he requires about 2 square inches of space, and maybe a small corner of the cabinet. That's it. That's all he needs. Contrary to popular belief, he doesn't even mind tidying the bathroom. I, for one, have been lady weeing for as long as I have owned my own bathroom. The lady wee. The lady wee is the only way for a man to wee. It is clean and compact and means that cleaning up mess is reduced to an absolute minimum. Please be warned, though, it can only be done in trusted toilets. It is also the only wee that you should ever attempt during the night, as the traditional man wee is fraught with potential splash hazards. The loose hose. This particular wee manifests itself after your weary walnut has spent a day tucked up in boxers and tight, ill-fitting trousers. This can lead to some degree of sweatiness that causes, shall we say, crumpling. It's not always possible to fully understand the condition of your phallus at times like this, and some loss of control at the moment of ejection has been known. It can be very quickly brought under control by an experienced hand, but that doesn't help when you have to make the decision to either clean up the slight mess you've just made or leave it in the hope it'll dry invisible and the host of the facilities won't notice. This problem is very easily remedied by the lady wee. Sit down, tuck the old boy between your legs and wee with impunity. The age-related wee. Both young and old have similar problems here, but they are at different ends of the toilet bowl. The young wee. Young men have a healthy prostate and can therefore wee with the power of a jet wash. This makes the aim, once you've got over the loose hose issue, very simple to manage. It was great fun in the days of indoor smoking, as you could pee on cigarette butts and try to get the paper off the filter before you ran dry. These days, it's not as much fun. Now, I'm not advocating that the government bring back indoor smoking, but it's a thought. I mean, you can't do that with an iPhone, can you? Progress? I wonder. Writer's note. All we have left to aim for is bits of clinging poo in a toilet bowl. It's still fun and very satisfying if you have the volume of wee and power required, but it's not the same as a cigarette butt. There are also more fecal spores involved. The issue is keeping this powerful beast under control so as not to spray the hinged area of the toilet seat and points further back in floods of urine. This is, again, very easily remedied by the lady wee. Sit down. Tuck the old boy between your legs and wee with impunity. The old wee. The older gentleman has to deal with a different problem. By way of example, go and get a 50-meter hose and turn the tap on a quarter turn. And here it comes. You have to lean right over the toilet so as not to wee on your shoes, and it can take anything up to an hour to completely finish off. Again, this is very easily remedied by the lady wee. Sit down. Tuck the old boy between your legs, get yourself a book, and wee with impunity. The dribble. This is the most uncomfortable wee of them all and the real reason for the popularity amongst men. Writer's note, or is it just me? Of the lady wee. The problem occurs once you think you've finished weeing. You can wait and wait. You can dab with toilet paper and dab with toilet paper. You can shake and wiggle for as long as you like. But as soon as you pop the old fella back into your boxers, you can guarantee that one little drop of wee will spill forth and dribble down your leg. Writer's note. I have invented a device called the Richard Pad, patent pending. It is a small elasticated tube, a little like a finger. The interior is super absorbent for comfort, but the exterior is shielded for his protection. They are flushable and can be easily rolled on after a wee. They will also increase the usage time of underwear to approximately a month, assuming you don't scratch up the crack of your bum too often. This is very easily remedied by the lady wee. Sit down, tuck the old boy between your legs and wee, and dab with impunity. The public toilet. This is the worst place in the world for a wee. You can't lady wee because the toilet looks like a cross between a Jackson Pollock painting and the one used by Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting, so you have to use the urinal. There are unspoken rules and laws involved in the use of gentlemen's public urinals that cannot be imagined by a gender who not only always pee sat down. Writer's note. Apart from that one girl in the group who marvels at her ability to stand up to pee. And in a cubicle, but consistently insist on going in groups of 2 or more. Here are 4 scenarios for any women who have battled this far into the book. 1. You walk into a 3-urinal pub toilet. There is a user at the far left loo. Do you? A. Go to the middle urinal, confident that you can start to pee freely and therefore intimidate the man next to you. Your ultimate goal is to dry him up. B. Go to the farthest urinal from the user and pee in happiness. C. Check the door for the sit-down toilet in the hope that it's free. You wouldn't dare do a lady wee on it, but you could at least pee standing up and not worry about cleaning it. D. Leave and come back later. 2. You're going for a night out in a club. What footwear do you choose? A. Your new sparkling white trainers that are guaranteed to get the chicks. B. Loafers. C. Shiny lace-up brogues guaranteed to attract the older end of the market. D. Wellington boots. Writer's note. It is a sickening moment when, standing in a pool of other men's lavishly sprayed piss, you look down and see that one of your laces is undone and soaking up pee at an alarming rate. 3. You're already at the latrine when a large, muscular gentleman defies all lavatory etiquette and stands at the urinal directly next to yours. You haven't quite started to pee yet, do you? A. Ignore the situation and with zen-like calmness begin to pee, putting all the pressure on him. Perhaps a little whistle too, just to seal the deal. B. Clam up and spend 30 seconds swaying back and forth in a vain attempt to convince him that you're actually peeing, even though he can't see or hear it. C. Take your medicine and stand there in dry silence while he splashes like a 4-year-old in a paddling pool. D. Look at him, tut, and move to a urinal further away while all the time shaking your head in a disdainful way. 4. You have struck up a strange rapport with the gentleman at the latrine next door but one to you and decide on a little banter. Do you say, A. So this is where all the dicks hang out? B. Better out than in, eh? Writer's note. This requires a fart from either or both of you, not as infrequent as you might think. C. Do you piss here often? D. You all right, mate? How's your night going? What did you think of the match/fight/guest ale new barmaid toilet banter? Writer's note. Delete as appropriate. If you answered mainly A's, who cares? If you answered mainly B's, it doesn't matter. If you answered mainly C's, it was just a bit of fun. There are no prizes. If you answered mainly D's, well done. These are the correct answers. In my opinion, there should really be two kinds of pub urinals, under 30s and over 30s. Writer's note. That means there is nowhere for people who are 30 to go. I don't care, because I'm over 31, or over. The under 30s would have advertisements placed above their urinal that promoted new kinds of exotic beers. The over 30s could do with a voice-activated Kindle and a choice of books. Writer's note. That means there is nowhere for people who are 30 to go, and I don't care, because I'm 31 or over. People who are 30 can go fuck themselves. I don't know why. I just couldn't be bothered changing the 30 into a 31. Even though writing this has taken much longer. Fuck you. See where I put things I create at.